You know, once again, let me reiterate how vitally important it is for you and for the world that we come together and understand Ephesians chapter 2, where we become one new man, Jew and Gentile, with Jesus Christ, the chief cornerstone. And you know, the only way that's going to happen, Tiz, number one, when you discover that you are a Judeo-Christian, and you realize that you have been grafted in, that Jesus didn't come to do away with these teachings. He came to graft us in and make it alive for all Gentiles, for all the world. It will bring a blessing to you. But listen to me. When you understand this and you begin to say to the world, the Jewish people are my family. Israel is my family. I have been grafted, as the Apostle Paul said, I have been grafted into them. What did Paul say? He said, if you think it's been good up till now, can you imagine how powerful it is when the Jewish people realize that the Christians don't hate them, we have not replaced them, that we love them, and 'tis we have been grafted in. Paul said it's going to be phenomenal, and it's what has to happen for the coming of the Messiah.
And I just want to say, you know, we've been on this journey for nearly 20 years.
Yeah, exactly.
And up to at that point, it was like, wow, this is a big task.
Yeah.
How is this really going to happen?
Most people thought we were crazy.
For a while. And so now we are seeing this incredible move throughout the world and the ripple effects of this message. And people from all over the world are wanting to be a part of this, Larry.
Exactly.
But I think you need to talk about the story of when you went last month to Israel and the people that you met, Eric and Rivka, and just tell what happened that time.
Well, you know, it's an amazing thing, because what did Jesus say? Jesus said, Tiz, when they see your good works, then when they see you doing something for them, then they will glorify your Father in heaven. And you know, what you've got to understand is that most of the Jewish world looks at Christians and thinks we hate them. And I want to make a stand here right now. There are a lot of Christians that are still teaching anti-Semitism. They're still teaching anti-Israel. They're still teaching anti-Jewish people. Christians who received a Jewish Messiah, who read a Jewish book. But the Bible says, Jesus said, but when they see your good works, the good works, stedka, doing an act of charity, is what repairs the breach, and it tears down the wall. And a great example is when we were in Israel this last time, we met with the mayor of one town that we're helping a bunch of Holocaust survivors in, 1,000 Holocaust survivors. We met in Jerusalem, where we are personally helping, you and I are helping these Holocaust survivors. And we see this every time. We saw it in the hospital in B'nai Zion. You see it with Eric and Rivka. And if they can show you some of the footage. Eric and Rivka, when we came in, Eric was pretty open to talk to us. But Rivka stood off to the side in the kitchen. And it was really, really obvious that she was wondering, what are these Christians, what are these Gentiles, what are these pastors doing coming to see us? And I want you to understand the reason why they felt that, and you need to know this, the reason why the Jewish people feel this is because much of the suffering that they've gone through since the Council of Nicaea, 325 years after Jesus, through the Inquisition in Spain, that was the church. The Inquisition in Portugal, that was the church. The Holocaust, when you go to Yad Vashem in Israel and you see where 6 million at least, and in reality many more, men, women, babies were murdered. The foundation of that was the church. The teachings of the church, they call it, it became a terminology in Christianity called deicide. Those who killed God. And the church would name the Jewish people the Christ killers. And this would be an excuse that the church gave for stealing their money, stealing their business, and killing them in the name of Christianity. So they're so afraid of us But as we go in and not just love them, you know,
Yeah.
Tiz, you and I know, but in Hebrew, everything God tells us to do, or every instruction he gives us, has us two parts.
Exactly.
It has the spiritual,
Right.
and it has the physical. Yes, we're to pray for the peace of Jerusalem. Yes, we're to pray for Israel. But that's just the spiritual part.
Right, right.
The physical, which is very spiritual, in repairing the breach, is to do something.
Yes, exactly.
Jesus himself said, when I was hungry,
that's right.
You fed me.
That's right. When I was in jail, you visited me. There's an action that has to be linked to love. I mean, it goes back to God himself.
Absolutely.
For our God so loved us
world.
that he gave us Jesus.
Amen.
He didn't just think it. He didn't just feel it. He acted.
And think about what Jesus said. They said, Lord, when were you hungry and we fed you? When were you in the hospital and we visited you? I think of the folks, the Holocaust survivors we visited in B'nai Zion Hospital. And Jesus said, when you've done it to the least of these, my brethren.
Yes.
My brethren. Jesus was a Jew.
Yeah.
His brothers and sisters are Jews.
Yeah.
The Jewish people are our brothers and sisters, and we have been grafted in.
Yes.
But it's amazing. It's the act of kindness.
Yeah.
It's you helping us go to over 1,000 Jewish people. And as the mayor said, we'll show it next week, the mayor said, helping them end their life with some dignity.
Yes.
Not begging for food. You know, when we saw Eric and Rivka, they told us that everything they wear, everything they have has been given to them. It's from charity. And they put their best on, and they wore their best, and they showed their best. But they're living in one of the most dangerous areas of Israel there is. And when we went in there, oh, okay, these people are the ones that are giving money so you can have medicine and you can have electricity and you can have some food. But you saw Rivka off to the side. But as they
when you went back,
felt our hearts,
Yes.
and they felt that you could see Rivka getting closer and closer and closer. And at the end, before we left, Rivka says, can I pray, Pastor, can I pray for you? Can I? And she said this beautiful prayer that God, you have placed this man. Well, yeah, I believe God has done that. I believe God has placed us to do this. But we can't do this without you.
No.
We have had so many Jewish people that have survived the Holocaust say, God, this is the man, this is the couple that you have sent to heal the world. And we believe that. 1,000%. We believe God has sent us, this ministry, to Tikkun Olam, to repair the world to the Jewish people so that the Messiah can return. But we can't do that without you. And I'm going to say this, I never do this, and God dropped this in my heart before I came out when I was praying. There are 1,000 people in one city that were taken on. 1,000 people. And I'm going to ask some of you, whoever God lays on your heart, to give $1 per person. And I never do this. No. Never do I do this. Now, I know some of you can't do that. I believe God's laid in my heart, and I don't even know why this number, give $300. And I never do this. But those of you that can, do whatever you can. Help us repair the breach.
Yes.
Help us bring you the truth that will set you free.
Right.
Help us fulfill Bible prophecy in being that one new man.
Yes.
I wish you could have been there. We see it every time. And it's usually the Jewish women that stand off aside.
Sure.
But when they don't just see our gift, but they feel our spirit, you can see that gap being closed. The breach is being repaired. And you know, of all the things we do, Tiz, of all the things with the hospital and the kids in Israel and our orphanage and stuff, the one thing that people respond to more is you Christians care about our Holocaust survivors. One, I'm not sure what the number is, but we're running out of time.
We're running out of time.
They're dying daily in Israel. But this is the most important thing. It will bring such a blessing on you.
Yes.
You needing a
Yes.
breakthrough, you're needing a
Absolutely.
spiritual, financial
Yep.
miracle. Anytime you sow seed, you're going to be blessed.
Yeah.
Anytime you sow seed to Israel, you're going to be multiplied. But when you sow a seed to fulfill prophecy in bringing unity between Jew and Gentile so the Messiah can return, you
Yeah.
are the one God is using to repair
That's
the
right.
breach. You
Yes.
know it's unlimited blessing in your life. Thank you in
Thank
advance
you.
for helping
Yes.
us change the world.